We'll get it right. We'll get it right. I'm not worried. Welcome, Money Mondayers, to another episode. Welcome, Money Mondayers, to another episode. How's it now? Boom, boom. There we go. There we go. Okay. This is. Uh-oh. This is. Uh-oh. Huh. That's a first. This is literally a first. This is literally a first. Okay, we're back for real this time. It was me. I had my own YouTube live open. That's the first time I've ever. So anyway, we are going to dive right in. Welcome to another episode of Money Monday, you guys. We are at episode 2, season 2, and I am so excited to bring you guys our special guest for today. That's right, Marvelous Beauty is here. She is in the house, and I can't wait for you guys to meet her. Let me unmute her because she was not the problem, I was.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Thank you so much for spending time with us today. I appreciate you so much for joining this conversation. And Marvelous was one of the first people that ever reached out to me. She was like, hey, girl, hey, if you ever want to have someone join, I am your girl. I am here. I'm your woman. And I appreciate you so much because I needed that. I needed it. Okay.
No problem. Not a problem.
Before we dive into the interview, I want to say hi to everyone in the chat. We already have over 20 people here. You guys are so awesome. You always come on time, showing us so much love. And if you have not had a chance to check out Marvelous' channel, I will throw it up on the screen now. Marvelous, tell us a little bit about your channel and what you do there.
Well, my channel is primarily about, well, it started off about planning, budgeting, and traveling, but as it has come to be, we haven't been able to travel much. So right now it's primarily about planning and budgeting, although I still have my Amsterdam files in the archive from last year this time. So I will release them unedited for everyone, because all the editing, I'm not about that. So
it happened and we get to see it. That's the important part.
Yes. So right now we are mostly focused in on the budgeting aspect, planning aspect, but we'll get back to traveling as soon as things get a little bit back more normal.
Exactly. I love it. I'm so glad that I was able to connect and find your channel because you motivate me so much to save, to really take saving serious. But, you know, we can talk about the good all day, but we have to talk about the journey. We have to talk about who you are in certain points in your life. And so we're going to dive right into this interview so that hopefully we can reach someone, or maybe more than someone, maybe a few people who are looking for answers and need some direction on how they can win with their money. You can do this, guys. If you're looking for motivation, this is it. And first off, Marvelous, I have to tell them what happened, Marvelous. So I had a note on my, my list, and I said, okay, I have to find out what her name is. I cannot keep calling her by her YouTube channel name. And so I was like, oh no, her channel name is called the Marvelous Beauty Channel. And so I just asked her, and tell us what your real name is.
So, well, when I turned 40, I decided to change my name to Marvelous Kind-Hearted Beauty. So I actually kept the same initials that I had from my birth given name. But in the Bible, it says that 40 days and 40 nights before you are born, your destiny is written. So because I was turning 40, I was going through this huge transformation and I was becoming more of the person that I felt like I wanted to be. So I decided to change my name. And part of what this interview will be about was a huge part of that transformation. So it was very fitting.
Can't do that but clap after that, right? We didn't even get to the first question yet.
I know. Marvelous Beauty. I love it.
It just rolls off the tongue. She is who she says she is, y'all. Her channel is Marvelous Beauty Channel, and her name is Marvelous Kind Hearted Beauty. I love it. Okay, so now that we have the backstory, now that we know who is speaking to us today, I'm going to dive right into our first question. So we're going to talk about wage garnishment because I feel like there's some people who are struggling with this silently. There's not enough conversation around it. And so I want to ask you, can you describe what it's really like to even experience wage garnishment? Can you tell us what it is, what you experienced?
Okay, so back in 2016, September to be exact, I had my wages garnished for student loans. So it started well before that. The process started well before that. I had gone through where I gone in periods where I use my deferment, I use my forbearance, and then I gone through periods where I just decided that I altogether did not want to pay. So I just wouldn't pay them, and they did not start the garnishment right away. About, I would say, at least 6 years had gone past before they actually started to come after me for the money. And at that point, I didn't even know that they were coming after me. They did start to reach out to me. It was a company, it was called New Jersey Higher Education Assistance Authority or something like that. And they started sending me letters, and I was ignoring the letters because I'm like, I don't even know who this is. Mm-hmm. I had no idea who the letters were coming from. And I kind of just left it at that. And I would say late August, actually it was, yes, late August, I was going back to work, and it was going to be like the first week of school had gone by. And the first week of school, we usually get a paycheck. And so one of the payroll secretaries, she reached out to me. As I work in the school district, we have about 500 teachers. So that's a fairly small school district. So pretty much everyone knows everyone. So she reached out to me and she said, hey, I got this letter. It came across my desk in the middle of July, and I was supposed to start garnishing your wages then, but I knew you were on summer and I didn't want to disrupt your summer. So I'm just letting you know I'm getting down to the last couple of weeks and I have to start doing this. So I'm going to give you one more paycheck to kind of get things in order before I have to start doing this. And that was a blessing. And that's the blessing, I guess, of working for a small school district, because she didn't have to do that. She could have just started it immediately. And at that time, from September 2016 through March 2017, they began to take 30% of my wages right off the top. So I had to stop paying into my retirement. I had to stop paying into pretty much anything, any savings at all. And so that was it. And money was extremely tight, because at the time my daughter had just started high school and she was on a traveling cheerleading team that was a competitive team where she traveled all across the country, and I was funding that all by myself. I was also going through a divorce, so I had just moved on my own for the first time in probably like the last 2 decades. So every bit of savings that I had was going out the window. Every bit of money that I had coming in was literally going out the door as soon as it came in. And it was tremendously difficult. And there was no stopping it. And the thing about it was, when I started to work with them, I did start to kind of get the ball rolling with them as far as the paperwork. They claimed every single time, oh no, we didn't get it. So my suggestion and the top tip that I can give to anyone is, number one, always keep a paper trail in triplicate. Email, fax, paper, postal. I don't care if you have to pay for the certified and you don't want to pay for the certified. Please do it. The phone conversations don't go anywhere, because they will swear, oh no, we didn't talk to you. We didn't get it. We didn't know. No one knows. Doesn't matter. Get your paper copies of everything, who you talk to, when you talk to, have them send you something back, because they swore they never got my responses or anything else, because there was a period about 10 days or so that I had to answer them before they actually started it, and it could have been a lesser amount that they would take, but they said, "Oh no, we didn't get your response," and I literally had like faxed it from my job that day.
The games. Thank you for you kind of already answered my first and second question, which is beautiful because I wanted to know like what happened, how did you feel about all of this? Your storytelling skills is A1 because I was going to ask you next, how did you overcome it? But what you're telling us is that one, you need to reach out to them and keep a paper trail. That's the most important thing that I took away from what you just told us, because for one thing, it's a learning curve for me. And I needed to have this conversation because I'm starting to have, more and more clients who are experiencing this scenario. And I want to make sure that I'm telling them the right things. And one thing I did not know is that wage garnishment could be student loans.
Yes.
I thought it could be other things. Like when I think of wage garnishment, I'm thinking you're behind on what? Like a bill, like creditors and things like that. But you're telling me it could be just for, something as simple as going to school and defaulting on a school loan. Like, that's crazy. So This is why these type of conversations are crucial. And Bree is in the house. She said that in Texas, creditors can't garnish, but state and federal can. So that's interesting. So that means that it goes state by state. There's differences based on where you live.
Yeah.
So that's wild. But okay. So anything else you want to add about overcoming the challenge and how you were able to make things work and slowly dig your way out? And
well, eventually what I started to do, it was a long process because like I said, at the time, my daughter, with her being in high school and being so active because she was an athlete in every single sport she played, every single sport that had a girls team she played. So that meant she needed equipment for everything, every season. New uniforms, new equipment, new sneakers, new everything. And it just was, it was just a process. It was just a day by day process. And so I did get into the habit of like going back to my credit cards because at that point, I had about $25,000 in cash saved up, like that was my emergency fund.
Woo!
Going through that whole process of the wage garnishment and also all of those other challenges at the same time, it just was depleted so very quickly that I had to fall back on the credit card. So even when people are budgeting and they're saying like, oh, I'm just going to pay off all this debt first and then I'm going to save, like I always kind of say, no, you have to do both. If you can even save $1 and put a little something on your debt, you have to do both, because if you find yourself in a position where you need some money, you're going to fall back on what you know. And if all you know is a credit card or a loan, that's what you're going to fall back on. You're going to fall back into debt. So you have to save at the same time as you're paying off debt. So that I could say to people. So that I learned from that experience at the same time. So that brought me further to what got me to the budgeting journey, which started in 2019. Because I was not budgeting before 2019. I was out there just balling till I was falling.
Living marvelously.
Yes. I was living the marvelous beauty life before 2019. Yes.
Thank you so much for telling us to save. No matter where you are in your journey, if you can, like you said, put something to the side, it builds the habit. It starts to just get you in the form of like, okay, every time I get my money, let me put something to the side just in case, even though I'm going through this, and this.
Yes.
I'll say, the emergency fund is crucial.
The emergency fund is crucial because you had $25,000. Hello?
$25,000 in cash.
Come on. I mean, so anyway, I digress. So now we're going to talk more about saving and budgeting, because you kind of just went right into this next part of the interview. So what things do you do so that you can make sure you're successfully adding to your savings every time you have money come in? What do you do when you budget and when you get paid?
He's up here. That's it. I believe in you have to pay yourself first. Before you pay any bill collector, anything, you have to pay yourself first. I'm not going to even pay my mortgage unless I have set aside, I don't care if it is $3 for myself.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. Whatever it is, you have to pay yourself first, because you go out here, you work every day, however you work, or even if you work from home, whatever it is that you do, that you add to whatever to bring in, you have to pay yourself first. Because if you do not do that, then you're just basically devaluing yourself and your time and your energy and your effort. And why would you give all of your energy and your effort to all of these other people before you've even given yourself anything, any part of it?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I try to tell people, make saving like breathing. Like, you have to do it. It's that important because, look how long we've been in this pandemic and look how many stimulus checks we've received. Is that really honestly enough money to survive on? And
No.
Like, come on. What can you imagine how bad things could be if you didn't have the money you had saved? Even if it's not enough to cover whatever you have going on that's wrong right now in life, you still were able to do something. You still were able to keep your lights on, or maybe you were able to pay your rent. That stimulus, Josh in the house. Josh, are we getting another stimulus? We cannot depend on others to care about our scenario, about our situation. We have to fend for ourselves. And that's why that's what I try to share with anybody who, comes to me and they ask for help. I'm like, please pay yourself first. Care about yourself first. Self-care, that's a part of self-care. It's all mental. You worked hard all week, you get paid for working hard all week, and then you give your entire paycheck away. That's not fair to you.
Just give it away. just giving it away. And that's basically where the point that I got to when I actually started to budget. Because before that, I was at a point where I would get paid. Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are familiar with Dr. Lynn Richardson. They've heard her speak and they've heard her use the phrase check to Monday or what have you. Okay. Sometimes check to lunchtime. I was like, direct deposit to 9:30 a.m.
Exactly.
And by lunchtime, like, literally texting my mother, like, well, listen, I'm going to need to borrow like $25 because I still got to do blah, 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 blah. And it was that bad because I could not see where everything was going because it was just going. And I had no idea because, number one, I was not writing anything down. So that's my number one tip. You have to write everything down. So one, you pay yourself first, but you have to write everything down so you can see where everything is going. And then you get a handle on, oh, okay, so now I can see what I'm doing here. And then you can start to get things in order.
Yeah.
Before that, we're just like, we're giving him, giving her, giving him, giving her, all of these different bill collectors and creditors and this one and that one. And then we're wondering why, well, I know that should have been paid off by now, but we don't even realize how much we actually gave or didn't give because we don't know. It's not even written down. We're not keeping track.
And that brings me to my next question. Pretty much my last question that I wanted to ask you is, what do you do if you're trying to get on board with budgeting and saving, but your family, friends, your significant other, your children, they are not on board? Maybe they are just destroying all the progress you make. What do you do when
I actually was the person who was never on board for budgeting and destroying any process anybody could make.
That's probably why we're so passionate about it now.
But this is what I could say, because what I've learned and what I've witnessed to start to happen in my own life is the more you do it and the more that people see you do it and the more you can just lead by an example, other people will start to notice and they will start to see the progress that you're making. They'll start to see the life that you're living and say like, wow, like I noticed how different you are from even years ago. It could be a year ago. And I noticed how things are turning around for you. I mean, I noticed that you're not calling me, asking me for $25 when I know for a fact you got paid today. Like, I mean, it's amazing because when you become like people say, a good steward of your money, but I would say a responsible steward of your money. Yes. You could even get into a situation where you might have to ask someone for something. Because I would go to a person, like I would go to my mother before I would take out a loan or anything like that, because I know that I can go to her and I know that if I say to her, listen, Mom, I need to borrow $5,000 and I'm going to give it back to you in 6 weeks, because she knows and she's watched me over this process. If I say in 6 weeks time, you're going to have your money back, she has no problem handing that over to me because she knows for a fact in 6 weeks time, it could be 5 weeks time, she will have her money back.
Yep.
And she's like, I already know because I know what she's going to do. Yeah. I don't know how she's going to do it, but I know what she's going to do.
She's seeing your work. She's seeing what you're capable of. Yeah. That's what it's all about. And if you're surrounding yourself with people like that, I think that's a whole nother part of the conversation that we should be having is, you know, the people around you. I think it was something we learned. We used to go to different classes and they basically said the 5 closest people to you basically tell who the type of person that you are. So if you're around people who are horrible managers of money and don't pay their bills on time and they, you know, don't respect money at all, guess what your bank account probably looks like, and guess what your habits probably look like too. So we have got to grow up, and as I tell my clients sometimes when I'm working with people, we got to adult. It's time to adult. It's time to stop acting like a college student and get down to business. This is the part where life turns a little painful, but you're going to turn out so much better after you grow through it. You got to get it over with. Rip the Band-Aid off and start paying your bills.
Yeah, so. It's a process. Honestly, I am so like, I just started to come on to the budgeting community and things like probably, I would say when I started my journey in 2019, it was a little bit after that I even found all of the videos, your channel, some of the other channels, Shay Budgets, Elaine Michelle, some of these other people. I didn't know anything about this. And I'm like, wow, all of this is out here. And I'm thinking like, geez, if I would have known about all this stuff, if these resources, because that's how I look at it. You know, as a teacher, I look at everything as like a resource or a book or, you know. So I'm like, if all of these resources would have been out here when I was in my 30s, oh my goodness.
That part. Because I wasted my 20s, y'all. I tell people that all the time. 20s was a wash, okay? I don't even recognize that person. That Michelle.
People when they can watch their first YouTube video.
Crazy. I laughed at myself. Like, I could not believe that was who I was. But it tells you time is a gift. Use it wisely, y'all. You can make changes. Slow progress is still progress.
Yes. I try to preach to the younger. Like, you know, I'm like, anybody my age is, I can definitely talk to you, and if I could bring you along, then that's good. But if I could get a young queen or king, 20, 21, that's I mean, even younger, Eva's age, my daughter's age, that right there, that is the age, because we didn't have that. We didn't have that. we were kind of shut out from that information.
Thank you. Mind your business. Go downstairs while I do these bills.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't blame my parents. That's just, that was the way they were raised.
That was just the mindset. That was just the age. That was just the times.
How it was. Thank you so much, Dennis, for your chat donation. You are so appreciated. How are you going to be working behind the scenes and donating at the same time? What? Thank you so much. Dennis is so right. Educate yourself.
And I love that comment, because once it started, it was like that was it for me.
You couldn't be stopped.
Digging.
Thank you to the 40 plus people we have in the chat right now. I appreciate you guys for coming to support. Can you believe Marvelous had the nerve to be nervous? What was she nervous for, y'all? She's coming over here giving us all the tea, okay? On how to win with money. She's like, I'm a little nervous. Go on the phone with Tanisha. Why? You built it. Thank you so much for joining us and doing this interview. I'm hoping that somebody can take away something from what we talked about today. Go ahead, Mike.
Are you doing chat questions?
Oh, yes. Do we have any chat questions?
There was one. I don't know if it was directed directly toward Marvelous or not. I didn't write down who it was from because I'm lazy. But the question was, what was your greatest accomplishment last year?
My God. Okay, let's see. Last year. All right. So last year, I became consumer debt free of all of my bills except for my student loans, and then I bought a house.
We had to wait for it. We didn't know what you was about to say, but the fact that you were able to get rid of so much debt, I tell people all the time, the longer you let debt sit and collect interest and let people make money off of you, you're making somebody else a millionaire. So it's like, you got to get rid of that old debt so that you can accrue. There's some debt that's just unavoidable. You buy a house, you buy a car so you can get to and from work. But you have to get rid of that old stuff and get that stuff out the way so you can give yourself a raise and get that old stuff off your back so you can focus on the new.
And that's what it was, because like I said, I started in May 2019. And when I started, it was with the idea of, I got to the point of, part of that $25,000 that I had in cash was to go towards my daughter going to school, because like I said, she was starting high school and I knew, and I only had 4 years she was going. I needed to put some of that money towards that. And at that point in time, I didn't have that money anymore. So, it was what it was. So I said, well, I have to, in this short period of time now, the only thing I can do, I can't come up with another 25,000. So the only thing I can do is just eliminate all of these debts. Yes. So that was the spark right there, because my biggest thing was, at some point I have to eliminate this generational poverty, this cycle of poverty.
Oh, she said it.
And I mean, that's just it is what it is, because in my family, I was my parents, my mother and my father, they were the first generation of college graduates. Both of their parents were not college graduates, but they were very hard workers, both my maternal grandmothers, maternal grandfathers. So they had student loan debts. When I went off to college, they couldn't help me with anything because they were paying their student loan debts.
Yeah.
So I said, even if I'm still paying mine, I'm not going to let her incur so much of that. I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure I'm funding that, because when she walks out the door into her adult life, I don't want her to walk out into the door already 10 steps behind, which that's when we get into the topic of the federal loans. I'll go a little bit more deeper into
that. Dive in now. Go ahead, dive right in, Marvelous. Tell us what you was about to say. Continue.
Well, I don't want to go too deep into it, but like I did say, I am an educator, so we're just gonna say this. The education system is built on structural racism. We all know that. It was not established for people of color, especially Black, in this country. Mm-hmm. So therefore, when you have a system that where there's no equity to begin with, then you take, and it's years and years and years of a system where you're being put further and further behind. There's almost no way to get ahead.
Yeah.
And we do have our success stories. So let's not discount that, because I know some people are going to come after me and they're going to say, oh, you blah, 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 blah.
Howard was good for me.
That's fine. You know, I know that this one got 2,000 million scholarships and they're doing great and all of that, but we're talking about everyday people. Okay.
Yeah. Everyday people.
When you think about something like when the GI Bill was established, with that, it was a great initiative that was meant to bring equity for soldiers coming back from war, people who have given their service for this country. That created the greatest divide in money and education in this country, something that was meant to be great, because now you have people saying, oh no, I don't want Blacks in this community. I don't want them in my school. I don't want them buying houses over here. So something that was meant to level the playing field
made things even worse.
Made it even worse. So now when I think about Fed loans, should we pay them? I tell everybody, pay what you owe. Make your monthly payment. Negotiate with them. Make your payment lower, because that's what I'm doing this time around. I'm paying what I owe, but I'm not paying anymore. No, I'm not paying while it's on this and that. No, I'll pay when they tell me to pay them, because as far as I'm concerned, for me and where I am in my life, that extra money needs to go towards my daughter's tuition, so I can make sure that she doesn't come out of her situation in the same situation that I'm in when she's 43 years old, still owing $126,000 to work in a job to educate the next generation of Black children. No.
Yeah. Right. The cycle has to stop somewhere. It has to stop.
So those extra payments, put on your mortgage. If you have a house, put on your mortgage. Put on something else that you owe. Because if you're putting that money on your mortgage or something that your family could actually use, something that your family could actually have in the long run,
something that you could actually use. You could use a house. Right.
The schools that you graduated from, I know the schools that I graduated from, they're not coming over here looking to pull these degrees off the walls.
Right. Right.
They're not going to do that. However, the bank, if I don't come up with that payment, eventually a couple months down the line, they will be putting a sign in front of this house.
Yep. Yeah. I thank you so much, because this is why we have to have these type of conversations, because there's some people who only have student loan debt. Now, you got to work that differently. You know, you have to attack that one way. But then you have some people who have all types of debt. They have medical debt, school loan debt, a mortgage, a car, credit card debt, and they don't know where to start. They're just overwhelmed. And so these are the type of conversations I have with people, because you have to prioritize. Everybody happy. You have to pick. That's what digging yourself out of a hole is. That's the reality, you know. Right. The goal is to level it off and not fall sinking deeper. That's the goal.
That's right.
So, make some decisions, y'all. Do what you got to do to get your affairs in order. Make these payments. I mean, there's so many people right now with channels talking specifically about Fed loan debt. Asia Sierra, she's doing Fed loan Fridays. There's people doing transfer Tuesdays. There's people doing, it's a day, every day of the week. Everybody is doing what they need to do to stay motivated. And so just click the button, follow whoever you need to follow, do your searches, and stay motivated so you can win with your money. So you can see your whole money. That's what it's all about.
That's right.
You don't want to be in debt for the next 50 years if you don't have to. You don't. But go ahead, Micah.
I was going to say hello to all our 50 viewers right now. We're up to 50 right now.
Oh, thank
Hello,
you,
everyone.
The Rich is over here spitting.
I know they must be enjoying Marvelous's content.
That's what I'm saying, y'all. Yeah, make sure
that
you.
looks delicious. What you drinking, bro?
She said she's drinking water.
It's water. It's water. The best drink
Fancy
water.
water. Let me tell you. I'm thirsty now.
Okay, thank you guys so much, and thank you, Marvelous. Look, check your email. You have a little gift in your email. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. Appreciate you guys. I'm sorry I didn't get to all the comments and questions, but we had to cut it off somewhere. She's been on here for a half an hour talking. Okay, if you want to talk to her, I'm sure you can DM her on Instagram or leave your questions under her videos. Leave your questions under this video.
Definitely.
And I'll screenshot them if I see questions and send them to you, Marvelous.
Definitely.
Okay.
And don't forget to go to Marvelous' channel.
You got to go to her channel. I'm sorry, I'm so bad at showing this. I'll get better, Dennis. Dennis done had this stuff up here for me to show forever. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Okay, just tap it. Just tap the subscribe button and stay motivated like I am.
And while you're pushing buttons, like this video as well.
Right.
I appreciate it. But everybody is just dropping all the thank yous, all the love. They are really appreciative of your interview. So
thank you, everyone.
In a bomb. With that, we are going to dive into Jeopardy. But before we do, while Dennis is getting that loaded, Dennis, do you want to go ahead and talk about we have to do a stock update real quick because there's a lot going on in the stock world today. Okay, we need to talk about this. So, Dennis, whenever you're ready, hop in and catch us up. What do you have to add today? Let's see what I'm.
All right. If you're not aware with what's going on right now, you've got companies right now that typically aren't really doing so good or aren't supposed to be doing so good. You've got companies like AMC, GameStop, Bed Bath & Beyond, Nokia, and BlackBerry, which if you know anything about any of those companies, they haven't really been doing so well, especially since pandemic and COVID. Well, long story short, what's going on right now is a long series of short selling. And a lot of people don't understand exactly how they can get paid off of that, or rather they expect to get paid off of that. When in the long run, this initially turned out or started as a movement because you've got these hedge funds. They want to stick it to the people that already have the money because, of course, these hedge funds last year, they short sell, which means that, just to give you a definition of that, they took the stock, and they borrowed against the stock and then immediately sold the shares. This was to kind of manipulate the market so that the stock would go down because they're anticipating this stock not doing good. Once the stock price goes down, then they buy the stock again to raise it up, sell it, and make a profit off of it. This isn't illegal. It's not something that's new to 2021. It happens all the time. But why it caught the attention of Redditors is because these prices drastically got sold. The prices drastically went down. And so a group on Reddit wanted to stick it to those people who were short selling by buying the stock themselves and raising it back up before they could recoup their losses. So, of course, short selling is a short-term goal. So they have to, at some point, buy those stocks back if they want to try to recoup any of their money. But since the stock is no longer low, they can't get the money they were expecting to. That's why if you're following this on Twitter or online through Reddit or somewhere, you're hearing the term hold the line. That means that you go into this stock and you hold it. It's not a day trading system where you buy it low and sell it high. They're holding on to the stock until these hedge funds have to pay it back. So if you're into it for the short-term game, that's what you should be doing. But remember, this is extremely risky. This isn't investing. This isn't how investing is supposed to go as far as the stock market is concerned. This is just a short-term, you could almost call it a get-rich-quick scheme. Illegal, but extremely volatile. So do not sell the farm to try and do something like this.
Right.
Don't try to become a millionaire off this is what you're telling me, Dennis. Don't put my savings, my emergency savings.
Exactly.
Okay. Exactly. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Josh. He said this is a full-blown financial show. It's my network. network, okay? I'm just the Rochelle, okay? I'm just the Money Monday. I keep my network behind me. That's the knowledge, okay? Micah, you got anything to add to this? Or did Dennis cover it all?
I think we covered it pretty good. I can't explain it any better.
Because I'm getting a lot of comments in my DMs on Instagram, like, what's happening in the stock world? And I'm like, I know they're using a lot of big words, and you know this is why we play Money Jeopardy, which we're about to dive into next. Dennis, you had that, Dennis, right? I'll pull it up. Okay. Because this is why you have to get comfortable with the terms. When you see words, don't let these big words. Oh, yes. And Dennis is in love with Pikachu. Okay. Pikachu goes where Dennis goes. But this is why you have to familiarize yourself with certain terms, because sometimes you know it's a turnoff. You see a big word that you don't recognize and you're instantly like, oh, never mind, I don't know what that is. But don't feel that way. It's too much knowledge out here. Literally, you can go on YouTube and learn so much. I literally start small. I have so many goals in the stock, industry that I want to get into, but I started small with just the Robinhood app. And I've made a lot of headway with that. I know they're in a lot of hot water right now, but I made me a couple coins off of there. And now I'm going to move into, a Vanguard account. Yeah. I set up, I signed in and created a Fidelity account. I'm just getting my feet wet. We're starting slow here. Marvelous, if you want to jump in, you can jump in anytime. But I really appreciate the knowledge, the free game that you can find on like Reddit, YouTube, and all these other platforms. So use it, y'all. It's free.
Yeah, definitely. And I would say as soon as you can, start to, like Rochelle said, start to explore, start to educate yourself. And then because you don't have so much knowledge, don't go throwing everything in, start small, a little bit at a time. But as you grow in your knowledge, put a little bit more, and start with one of the apps because it kind of does everything for you as you're building your knowledge. And then move on to Vanguard because the Vanguard account is probably one of the best that you can get. Probably one of the top rated accounts that you can get, the index funds with Vanguard. And if you haven't looked into it already, I definitely would.
Get into it. I'm telling y'all, I got big plans. My 2021 will end with me having a Vanguard account with some money lining it, okay? I got plans. But wow, we are up to 60 people. Okay, so guys, we are jumping right into Money Jeopardy. Oh, go ahead.
What about if I wanted to get some groceries?
I'm good. I'm good on that.
You good?
I'm good on that. I'm done with that.
No groceries?
No groceries.
Oh, But my job is to remind you.
I had this ad that I used to do. I'm not doing it anymore. Okay. The girl doesn't need it. It's okay.
You don't need it now. Excuse me.
While we are lining up for money
groceries.
While we are lining up for Money Jeopardy, y'all, I want to give a quick thank you to everyone who is supporting my YouTube channel and my Instagram. You guys are just thebomb.com. Thank you so much for engaging, commenting, liking, sharing, and subscribing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I also wanted to give, what else did I want to say?
Is there a special shout out to your channel members?
Oh, hold on. Yes, channel members. Thank you. I feel like all my channel members are literally in the chat right now. They are so awesome and so supportive. Thank you guys for always supporting me blindly. Y'all are just, I'm not going to, you know what I mean. But also I saw a question in the comments saying, oh, Rochelle, your Money Monday is so fun and so informative. You should have a podcast. Good news. This episode actually is a podcast. So this is what we call a reverse podcast. So we film it live on YouTube because I'm a visual person and I relate to YouTube more than anything. And so it starts as a YouTube video live and then the replay is available 1 hour after the episode ends. And you can listen to this episode anywhere where you listen to your favorite podcast. I'm pretty much on every platform because it's free to put your stuff up there. So I did it. I always
just under Rochelle Adamson.
It's if you type in my name, Rochelle Adamson, or if you type in Money Mondays, it will pop up. There's another show called Money Mondays, but you'll see my picture. You'll know it's me. My big old face will be right there. But let's dive into Money Jeopardy. And so we have three contestants. Reese, let me know if you're still here, girl, because you are in the lead with 1,500 points and you have the right to go first. Tiffany, I didn't see Tiffany in the building today, or Barlow Street, but you know, she might be here.
It's a lot of people here.
It's a lot of people here. We got over 60 people. Y'all are just
so behind the comments.
Awesome. Reese, if you're here, make your selection. Oh, yeah, she says she's here. Reese is not going to miss this, okay? Now, while Reese is choosing her question, let me share with you guys. I know last month for Money Monday, I promised you guys a prize, and I could not fulfill that because Starbucks was acting up. I tried to do the buy a coffee for everybody type scenario. So what we're going to do today is the top 3 winners will win an Amazon gift card. And one will be worth, third place will win $3, second place will win $7, and first place will win $10. So just a little thank you guys for hanging out with me and spending your Monday nights with us. We really appreciate you guys, and thank you for the support. So just to make it fun and feel like you're playing for something, who can't use an Amazon gift card? I mean, come on. So if she is ready, go ahead, Dennis. Oh, yep, 500. Okay, so guys, if you aren't familiar with Money Jeopardy and it's your first time playing, it's just like the show. You have to answer in the question format. So here we go. This powerful FIRE strategy involves living in a relatively cheap location while earning an income from an expensive location. And you just place your answers in the chat, and whoever answers first and in the correct question format, you are the winner, and you get to collect those points and choose your next question. So I'm going to the chat. We got the chat loaded.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see what the answer is. Did anybody come up with the answer yet?
Not yet.
Okay, let me give them another couple seconds. Let me reread it. This was a toughie, okay? Remember, if you were here for our last Money Monday, we talked about FIRE. And so this powerful FIRE strategy involves living in a relatively cheap location while earning an income from an expensive location. Guys, this is a life hack right here. Remember when we were living in Baltimore? I can't remember what it's called either, but I remember when we were living in Baltimore, Maryland, we had a lot of people who would live in Pennsylvania for cheap, and they would drive to work every day in Baltimore, Maryland to work because the pay was better.
Right.
But it was cheaper.
Cost of living is cheaper in Philadelphia.
Super cheap. You could get a huge house in Pennsylvania for less than $100,000, but be in Baltimore making a good amount of money. So that's what I call a life hack. And that's basically what this strategy is, just related to FIRE. So
the reverse kind of story.
Okay. Oh, it's actually the reverse. Oh, okay. Oh, let's go ahead and drop the answer.
Anyway.
Drop the answer, Dennis, because nobody's getting it. Everybody's spitballing.
Oh, Geo
Sexy is here. See, Sexy. I'm gonna give it to you because she knows her stuff. And honey, so geo arbitrage. Y'all have to look it up because I don't have time to.
I couldn't even pronounce it.
Geo arbitrage. Y'all have to look it up, but it is very interesting. It is a thing that people are doing to reach their FIRE goals faster. And so people are living off the land. We know people who built their own.
That's for off camera. Huh?
Okay, so we know people who built their own, what do you call it? Tiny houses. They built their own tiny houses.
Oh, yeah.
So Sexy, choose your next question because girl, I'm just trying to, I talk too much, but go ahead and give her the point. Oh, Dennis is on. He gave her the points. Make your selection, Sexy, whenever you ready. But I'm telling you guys, it's a thing. And it's a whole movement. If you type in FIRE movement on YouTube or FIRE geo arbitrage or geolocation, you will see what I mean. Okay. Did she choose her question yet? Let me see. Oh, Bree says she actually does it. She works in a different city and lives somewhere else. You might be doing it without even realizing it, y'all. Even if you work in a different zip code than the zip code you live in, you might be winning that way and not even know it. So look it up. Hey, James, welcome to the chat. He says he's retiring to the Philippines in a few years.
I was wanting to say to Rochelle, I want to plan a trip there.
I'm telling you. Okay, Sexy out. She got her question. 200 for FIRE for 200. We're going to speed this up because I want to finish this board today, y'all. So we're rolling.
Alton?
Income received that requires little to no effort on your part. What is that called, y'all? The questions get easier, so I'm hoping we can blow through them a little quicker once we get out of the FIRE category. Okay, we got some comments. Some answers. Correct. Who's first, babe?
Oh, I'm behind. Passive income. It looks like Reese.
Reese, you were first. What is passive income? Make your selection, honey. You have just added to your score. How many points is that?
200. It was 200.
200 points. She's on a roll. Somebody catch her. I believe that Sexy Al can give us some competition. Reese got it first. Mm-hmm. Everybody noticed it. So passive income is the best income, y'all. Make money while you sleep. If you want to know more how to do that, watch my video. I posted a video last month talking about quick, free ways to make money. And there's other things you can do other than surveys. I mentioned surveys, but that's not the only thing you can do. Okay, yes, get us done with this fire category. What is fire for 400? Okay, this well-known type of index funds are nicknamed ETFs.
Yeah, I'm trying to finish. You're reading faster and everything.
I'm sorry, y'all, but I just know this is a tough category, but we got to learn. We got to get familiar with these terms and these concepts, okay? We are investors now. We're beginner investors. We need to learn what this is. Johnny said rude. Okay, I see one answer up on the board. I see Debbie. What is exchange traded funds?
I was like Reese again.
Reese clearly by a long shot won that one for 400. So she got herself some nice easy points. Reese, go ahead and take us into our next categories. You can choose from taxes or financial acronyms.
Where's Tiffany and B Street?
we got room for new winners. Yeah, we got room. Okay. So feel free if you want to be a part of this. Jump in. Don't be scared. Let's see what she chooses. She's a fast typer, so I'm not going to start a new conversation. There she goes.
Coffees.
Taxes for 400. She going coffee.
She going for the gusto.
She going for it all. Yeah. Okay. This tax form is the most commonly used form when filing taxes. Excuse my typos, y'all. This tax form is the most commonly used form when filing taxes. Think about it now. Think about it.
Meryl Lathan Broke. Hello. I love the YouTube name.
She's sweet too. Okay, I see some answers dropping for us, Dennis. Let's see what the answer is. What is a 1040? That's right, guys. The 1040 form is the number one clicked on form on IRS.gov random knowledge that is on the internet that I found out.
And Tamika Jones.
Tamika! Yes, we got a new person on the map. And I love Tamika. She's so supportive of our channel. Thank you so much. Okay, Tamika, you choose your next question, honey. You just won 400 points. And just like that, she slid into fourth place. She's tied. Well, Sexy L and Barlow are tied for second place. So, Tamika, you got a chance, girl, just like that for your gift card. Did she answer yet?
What's that? Oh, her category? No, not yet.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Thank you very much.
You ain't got to go next. I got you. Taxes for 200.
Taxes for 200. Here we go. Okay, the IRS has up to this amount of years to audit a tax return. Oh, this is unlocking. This is unlocking stories, y'all. Okay, so while you guys make that real quick, well, I'll wait until the answer. I don't want to make a mistake and say the answer. The IRS has up to this amount of time or in years to audit a tax return. Forgive me, y'all. My wording could be better. I just type stuff.
Okay, the answers are rolling in now.
Well, you guys know about this, huh? Okay, let's see what the answer is then.
3 years.
What is 3 years? Tell me somebody said 3.
Not yet. Oh, Alex.
Oh, Sexy L. I'm telling you, she know her stuff. You must work in tax. She has to. She's so knowledgeable. Give her the points. Okay, so interesting fact that
I think she might have answered that if the question came up, but
I
don't know. It counts.
Interesting fact. If you are paying too much, I have a client right now, we're working through some things, and I feel like she's paying too much taxes. And I feel like more than 30% of her income, like way more than 30% of her income goes to taxes. And so we are actually thinking about putting in a request to have her stuff audited. But the reason we are talking this out slowly is because, guys, once you do that, if you pick up the phone or email the IRS and say, I would like to voluntarily audit myself, look at my social security number, see what comes up for all my taxes ever in life, they have up to 3 years to audit you. So we're in the year, 2021?
Yes.
So they have until the year 2024 to audit you. So you might want to not do that because they can audit you for things that haven't happened yet.
Yes.
And that means you have got to be on your A game from now until they feel like auditing you. And so that's just a piece of like Ruth said, no backseas when you make that request. But if you know that you have done nothing wrong and you are tired of shelling out too much money, I say do it. I have seen 1 or 2 cases that I read about that they actually were able to get their taxes reduced. They got a refund because they paid too much. They've been paying too much. So stop assuming when you get paid on Friday, that's not the beginning of budgeting. You want to look at your pay stub first and see what automatic pre-tax deductions have come out. There's pre-tax and post-tax deductions that you need to be laying eyes on, y'all, not just what hits your bank account. So did she answer? I'm sorry. Did Sexy give us her next? Choose your next selection, honey. But I'm just, as I find out things, I'm shooting it out to y'all, okay? So that's why we choose these type of questions. There's a story behind every question.
Yes.
Let me know if I'm missing something marvelous.
Bro, I just wanted to jump in and tell everyone, I had done a video way back, probably the beginning of September, about changing your deductions as far as your pre-tax deductions. If you can, because I mean, people say, oh, I can't do it. I can't stand to, have so much taken out. Try to shelter as much of your income as possible into your retirement and into your HSA accounts before the government takes out your money in taxes. I was paying probably almost $500-600 each paycheck in taxes. Now, most of my deductions are going into my retirement and into my health insurance, my health savings account, as opposed to the government.
So you see what I mean? I'm telling you guys, watch her video. In fact, I'm going to write it down.
Keep more of your own money, whether it's going to work for you now or whether you're going to have it later on. Keep more of your own money.
Especially if you work for a company that matches.
And if you work for a company that matches, that's even better. My school district does not match, but if you work for a company that matches, that's even better.
Okay. And Dennis is giving y'all a friendly reminder to make sure you are watching the live version of this video. If you feel like your answers are popping up really late or really delayed, make sure that you have a blinking red dot that says live and click it to make sure you're watching the live version. Thank you, Dennis, for the reminder. Okay, let's jump into this next question. Thank you, Marvelous. Telling you, there's so much we could talk about all day.
Mm-hmm.
So much.
Taxes for 3.
And we're talking about taxes because it's tax time. So if you file a tax extension, your tax return is due on this date. Now we are going to just put a disclaimer out that I believe the tax date has changed for the first time in years. It is now due on a different date for this year, but we're talking 2020 and prior.
Right.
When are taxes due?
Oh yeah, because we made this board a while ago.
Yeah, I made this board last year. A lot has happened in a month, I tell you. Okay. Oh, a lot of responses came in. Okay, Dennis, you could drop the answer. That's right, y'all. October 15th. You have until October 15th to file your taxes.
Really?
Yes. I know, right? I know. So that does depend on different scenarios. So you have to fall into certain buckets for that date. There is another window that is, I think, July 15th. That's for certain people based on the way that you file also. So who?
Tamika Jones.
Tamika! Go girl! Go ahead, choose your next question. Let me tell you, y'all did not come to play today. Reese, they coming for you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. I love it. Thank you. Okay, so she won what, 200 points? Wow, she's coming up.
Yeah.
Asia, you can't quit again. That's too funny. I'm looking at some of these comments. Y'all are so funny. Okay, just let me know when Tamika chooses her next question. You know, I always got something else I could be talking about.
Financial acronyms 200.
There we go. Financial acronyms for 200 points. Okay, so here's the financial acronym. What does Forex stand for? This is literally who can Google it the quickest and type it. Forex. Okay. Thank you for that reminder, Asia. RochelleAdamson.com. And I just think that these are good terms to familiarize yourself first before you learn what they mean.
Yes.
Because it's right, Marvelous. Does that make sense to
definitely.
You? Even if you don't have time to look into what it means yet, or what it's all about, just say, okay, at least I know what that stands for. Because I was to tell the truth, I didn't know what this meant. And once I found out, I was like, well, I should have known that. So
it's getting the lingo and getting more comfortable with it. So as you hear it and you're around more conversations and you're watching more videos, it starts to sink in. It starts to sink in more and more.
Yep. Okay, Dennis, you could drop that answer. What does Forex stand for? It literally just means foreign exchange. Who we got?
I had it too, but I had got distracted. Journeys to Wisdom and Wealth.
Wait, what about this one? Mel T.
Oh, Mel T.
We can give that to Mel T.
Okay,
we got a new person on the board, y'all. Throw Mel up there.
Okay,
Mel T. We're gonna give her. She misspelled the word exchange, but she was typing fast. Okay, Twitter fingers. We know what that means, girl. We know what you meant. Okay. Choose your next.
Because I was gonna be like, no. I mean, like, say it correctly.
Alex Trebek, bless his soul. I tell you, he is definitely the motivation behind this whole setup. Poor thing, passed away. Okay, so let's see. Mel, which one would you like to do next? Financial acronyms or taxes? Barlow, you're here. She said not the
Mel,
Drake
welcome Journey, Wisdom, and Health. Because I think you said it was your first time.
Yes.
It was another person, James Thomas. I don't recognize his name.
Mike is going to shout you out if you have a guy's name off top every time, because him and Jay are always looking for the guys in the room. So any guy that's here, welcome. Special welcome to the men, because that's a whole nother thing for a whole nother day. We're going to be diving into money tips for guys only.
Oh, really?
Yes, this is going to be a whole nother episode. I'm telling you guys, our men need to have some conversations too. Okay, so taxes for 100. Let's do it, y'all. We are diving in. We almost here. Almost at the end.
Let's see.
Taxes for 100. Here's the question. The largest source of government revenue. What do you think that is? What do you think the government in general, the USA government, what do you think their largest source of revenue comes from? Don't forget to answer in the question format. Dennis said, "Man, Money Monday." That's right, Dennis. Mail Money Monday, something like that. I'm telling you, I got all the ideas, all of it. Okay, you can drop the answer, Dennis. This is. I'll give it to whoever wrote taxes first, because I literally just wanted to talk about it for a minute. So, literally, individual income tax makes the government the most money, which is quite interesting because I don't know. Did you think that those tax filers would be the ones? Individual income tax would be
because businesses have lots of loopholes to get around.
Yeah.
Boom. And which brings us right back to educate yourself, because if you are an individual who chooses to start a business, you can learn and do.
You can shelter your money.
You can shelter your money and protect it.
Your money.
Because these corporations aren't doing anything that you can't do. That's what I'm learning more and more. The more I dive into what it is to own your own LLC and all of that. A lot of those rules are made for anybody. It's just a matter of having the knowledge to know to do it. And the timing has to be on point also.
That's right.
Book on how to shelter your money was Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Rich Dad Poor Dad. Read that book. Listen to it for free on YouTube.
That's great.
I'm telling you guys. Okay. Thank you. Oh my goodness.
Corey Campbell.
Corey. Oh, Cole got it. Go ahead, Cole. You on the board. And then Dennis, you can open up our last question. Barlow is in the house with the knowledge. There's a lawyer in the house, y'all. Keeping us legal.
Oh.
Barlow. Okay, so here's our last acronym, REIT. What does that stand for, guys? Oh, you know this one? I cannot believe 50% of the revenue, government revenue, comes from individual income tax.
Mm-hmm. I believe it.
Making out like a bandit. Micah can't stand looking at his taxes, okay? Killer. Okay, drop that answer for us, Dennis. Everybody should know this one. Everybody who's been watching our episodes. Real estate investment trust. Well, that is what REITs stand for. So I think some people pronounce it REITs, right?
Yeah.
If you hear people say, "Oh, I'm looking into more REITs and all that," just know they're talking about real estate. Okay, that's the most important part. They're talking about real estate. Okay, so we have at this point in time. Go ahead.
Oh, Mr. Thomas, I believe, got that correctly.
Oh, we have another new person. Look at us. I love it. James in the house. Yes. Is that James?
Yes.
You are on the board, sir. You got your 100 points. Now, what I need from all of you guys who are choosing to be a part of Final Jeopardy, our last question, I need you guys to throw your wagers in the chat. Let me know how much you want to use. So right now we have, I guess we should start with, okay, so James has 100, Cole has 100, Mel has 200, Tamika has 700, Sexy Al has 700 also. So they're both tied for second place, which is interesting. Barlow Street has her same 500, and Tiffany Wilson, who I don't think is with us today, has 300 from last episode. So Reese
has Infinity Stones.
Reese is 2,100. So throw your wagers in the chat while Dennis gets our final question loaded up for us. So awesome. Thank you to Dennis. Everybody say thank you, Dennis.
Thank you, Dennis.
So I am waiting. Let me know if you see some. So we need wagers from at least Barlow, Reese, and the two who were tied for 700.
Reese said 100, Tamika said 100, Mel said 100. 100.
We got a chat donation.
Corey said take $5.
I love it. Thank you so much, Coco. Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
This thing ain't easy what I do. I appreciate y'all chat donations. Y'all are just awesome.
Sorry we had to cut back to once a month, but it's a lot of work on these Monday Mondays.
It's a lot of work.
A lot of work.
And you know what? Just know that your chat donations are used to support Money Mondays. So if that means prizes for Money Jeopardy, making sure I line Dennis' pockets with a little something for all his time, and a gift for our special guest. So just know that all your money that you donate goes right back into Money Mondays. Getting a better setup. We bought us a new power cord so our battery doesn't die as quick. We're trying to look professional for y'all, okay? All right, let me see. Do we have some more wagers? I feel like we're missing some people.
Alex said 100, and that was about it.
Barlow I threw Barlow on the Money Jeopardy last month. She probably not playing. She just likes to come. She's so sweet. Okay, so let's drop the question, y'all. We're gonna see who can come up with this answer the quickest. Your category is stocks, which I've also failed to mention. This occurs when an investor borrows a security and sells it on the open market, planning to buy it back later for less money. If you were here earlier today, you know what this is. If you were listening. Oh, Barlow said I'll give you 100 just to attend. So sweet. Dennis said everybody said 100, wagered 100. Y'all made it easy for me. Okay, let's see what we got going. We're starting to see some responses.
Ooh.
Oh, thank you, Reese. I appreciate y'all. Nike goes right back to Money Mondays. Okay, I am seeing a lot of answers, and you guys are absolutely 100% correct. Short selling, exactly what our stock segment from Dennis. We gotta come up with a cool name. Drop some ideas in the chat for what we should call Dennis and Dennis's powwow. They switch off. Mostly it's Dennis that brings it to us. Sometimes Micah but we need a name for what they do when they give us a little stock tip of the day. So let's see. This is going to be super easy for Dennis to know about the scores. So everybody pretty much got it right. I'll just say that.
They all just go up 100.
They all go up 100, which means Reese is still the winner. And then we just have to do something for the tiebreaker. You know what I'll do? I will just grab a 4th gift card and make sure we have our top 4 winners, because we had 2 people who were tied for second place. So I'm just going to go ahead and divvy out the gift cards. So Reese, you just grabbed you a $10 Amazon gift card. Whoever's in second place, you lovely ladies, will win the $7 gift cards each. And then third place, who was in third place? Somebody remember.
We'll check the replay.
Oh, here we go. Dennis, so organized. Let's see. Okay, so Reese, and then
B Street. But she wasn't even playing. Oh,
I'm giving it to Barlow. Barlow, if you send
she said it. She was there. That's right.
Barlow, if you send me
Barlow.
your email address, I'm gonna DM you if you have an Instagram. I will send you guys your money. So the only rule is just to keep it safe, because we do have a lot of crazy spammers. My battery is dying, so we're gonna quickly move on. But just DM me on Instagram and send me your email address so I can forward you your electronic winnings. Okay. Michael, you want to read us our quote for the day as we close out today's episode?
Oh, yes. I did it early this time. This is from John D. Rockefeller. Don't be afraid to give up the good to go get the great.
Boop. Say it one more time, because we had a little beep come through.
Don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great.
There it is.
That things are okay doesn't mean they can't get better, y'all.
Right.
Boom. Thank you, Marvelous. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Boo. Thank you. We are out of here because the battery's dying, so we got to go too. I'll see you guys in the next Money Monday, which is going to be March 1st. Another first day of the month, fresh start. Until then, I'll see you guys. Peace, love, and Money Mondays.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.